Ali, I want you to kind of set the stage here first, and let's talk about what's going on with the plane because of what some of those Republicans had to say. In terms of the legality of this, I mean, is it really up to Pam Bondi to just decide what's legal?
Well, it's up to Congress, first of all, Casey, and I think that may be why you're seeing this hesitation and pushback from congressional Republicans. Now, if we look at the Constitution, the rarely invoked emoluments clause says that no federal official in the United States may accept a gift or present or title of nobility from any foreign
remember when
country.
Democrats thought he took emoluments in the first term?
Right.
Because compared to this, it's like...
Yeah, people were staying in his hotels or something, but now we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars worth. But the exception is Congress actually can vote to allow it. And so I think that may be why you're seeing some unease from members of Congress, because now it's fair game for you, Casey, or anyone else to ask these members, hey, if this comes up, are you going to vote yes or no on allowing the president to take this plane from Qatar?
Which is why, I didn't see the tweet is not really going to work in this scenario. Scott Jennings, big picture here, as this jet situation is playing out, he's also meeting with a jihadist that had a U.S. bounty on his head. He's opening the door to Iran, long, of course, scorned by especially conservative Republicans. What else? There's several other things that we ticked through that the president is doing that if you had previously told me, in pre-Trump era, and I feel like a broken record saying this, but I would have told you were crazy. Like, what planet were you living on? How do you feel about the way that the president is embracing the leaders in the Middle East in this way and the changing posture he has toward people that have been, quite frankly, sworn enemies?
Yeah, he has thrown a lot of the old orthodoxy out the window because I think he just doesn't feel hemmed in by the politicians of the past. I mean, we did not elect a president here who comes from the normal political channels. He doesn't feel like he has to abide by the old rules. And he, I think, is dealing in realism. He would say, I'm dealing with the people that I have to deal with. You may not like it, but these are the people I have to deal with. On Qatar, I mean, we have $26 billion in active foreign military sales with these people. They're the second largest foreign military sales partner that we have. They just spent $8 billion over the last several years on our huge military base that we have there. So it's not like we're not already in bed with the people in Qatar, like it or not. And I'm not here to defend some of the things they've done, but we already have partnerships with these people. And so the idea that this president is not going to deal with them or deal with other players in the region when we are already so entangled, I think, is not realistic. And look, this man was put on earth to make deals. He's a deal maker. I think this trip to the Middle East, he's already showing this is what he was put here to do, and he's doing it.
Laura Loomer called the Qataris jihadists in suits. Is she wrong or right?
They have engaged in activities that are absolutely against American interests. There's no question. They have also engaged in activities such as investing $8 billion in our military base and engaging in these foreign military sales that are in our interest. It is a mixed bag with these people, but there's no question they have engaged in anti-American pro-terrorism activities.
Would you talk on the phone and say something private on that Qatari jet and believe that no one was going to find out?
Well, I don't know whether this is going to happen or not. I do find it, I mean, I guess we'll have to take it apart and put it back together. And if Boeing can't deliver the two things we already ordered, how are they going to take it apart and put it back together in a way that we can use in a timely fashion? And by the way, having been on Air Force One recently, I can tell you, it is an old jet. And the president's not wrong. It would be good if the Boeing, who we hired to build the new Air Force Ones, could actually deliver on the products.
Yeah, it seems like they're delivering plenty of planes to our in the Middle Eastern allies.
But that's on Boeing, right? That part of it. Look, the breaking news here is that even Republicans do not think that this is a good idea. Apart from taking it apart, apart from security checks and putting it back together again. Hundreds of millions of dollars is the estimate to retrofit it.
Well, the plane itself costs what, $400-ish million?
Right.
Taking it apart, putting it back together, $750 million-ish dollars?
Correct. But we now have, I believe, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Rusty Johnson. Nikki Haley tweeted this morning. She said, regardless of how beautiful the plane may be, I think she was trolling him a little bit, it opens a door and implies the president in the U.S. can be bought. If this were Biden, we would be furious.
Yes, that's absolutely right. They would be furious. Republicans would also be furious if any Democrat's family was out there making business deals ahead of the president's foreign trip. And that's one thing that we're missing from this conversation is that you had Eric Trump and Don Jr. out there opening up a new hotel, a golf course. And so this isn't just about the United States. This is about Trump's personal gain and what his family has to gain. Now, on the plane, what I'll say is it continues to surprise me how Donald Trump, the president of the United States, the person, very few people get the presidential daily briefing. He is one of them. He is the least concerned about security. He cares more about luxury than he cares about security. Why isn't Hegseth fired yet? That poses a security risk. So it's action after action. You continue to see the president not care about the country's security, and I think that should alarm people. That's why Republicans are coming out.
He does seem to understand that he shouldn't put things in text messages, right? Or when he should pick up and like do things on the phone. Kristen Holmes, I mean, he talked about that when this signal stuff unfolded. And I mean, look, you've covered this guy for a real long time now. I mean, we can put up pictures of the way he's redone the Oval Office, and he was just just making comments a few minutes ago saying, well, he was busy the first month. I had to redo the Oval Office. It wasn't up to snuff. Now it's covered in gold. This is a guy who cares a lot about what things look like and whether the things around him send a message that he is the most important person there. Is that really what's driving this?
Well, I will tell you that if you've seen his plane, it's nicer than Air Force One. He spent a lot of time trying to make it nicer than Air Force One and telling everyone around him that it was nicer than Air Force One, because this is something that really has eaten at him, that the plane is just not that nice, that it's older, that he talks about since his last term. So yeah, he likes to be around nice things. But I also think there's a larger kind of picture here, which is that Donald Trump, yes, he does seem in these conversations, the fact that he keeps defending the plane, to not either know about why this is a national security risk or not care why this is a national security risk. But I will say, in the bigger picture of what Scott was saying about, you know, Qataris being anti-American at times, or being, in this case, doing business with them. For Donald Trump, it's all about business. He doesn't care about the fact of what they've done. He cares about the fact that he gets to come home from this trip and say, they're going to invest X amount of billions of dollars in us. I got that done. I'm the one who cares about America because I got these deals done, which is why he went there first. He's not going to get these kind of deals if he goes to Europe. He's not going to get these kind of deals from any other foreign country, but he is going to go to the richest countries that have and want to curry favor with the United States, and they are going to sign that paperwork that shows that $800 billion or whatever it is going into the United States, and that's what he wants to get out of it. So all of these other things, as Scott said, you know, he doesn't really care about the political implications of it, because at the end of the day, he gets to come out and say, well, I got all this money from them.
He gets to fly in a nice plane, and I mean, he does say he can't run for president a third time. Ellie Honig, briefly, Chuck Schumer said he's going to hold up DOJ nominees because of this plane situation. Is there anything Democrats can do in terms of not necessarily Congress, but using the courts in their attempts to push back on some of this?
Well, so that's part of the problem. The Emoluments Clause sort of stands alone in the Constitution, but violating it is not a crime. It doesn't even necessarily give rise to a cause of action, to a basis to go into court and file a lawsuit. So this is one of those clauses that's put in the impeachment that I think the founders just expected people would respect. The real solution is impeachment, but we know that's not happening here. So a lot of times we just end up relying on the good faith of the actors and political pressure. We'll see if that's enough to push Donald Trump one way or another here.